Things are surely falling apart. The protests have been going on for over 3 weeks now. And in these 3 weeks, Mathira constituency in Nyeri, regarding Gachagwa's home constituency, has never been active the way they are today. Karatina town in Mathira constituency, they have been running battles there since morning. And I find that very interesting and very ironic because that's regarding Gachagwa's constituency. And about 2 days ago, Rigathi warned the mountain against those protests. In fact, he made it very clear that hata kama William Ruto ni mbaya, watasimama na yeye. Let's listen to Rigathi Gachagua speaking about 2 days ago, after which we are going to put all this into perspective for Kenyans to understand what's going on here. Listen to this.
Sisi rais katika eneo hili nifanye ndio nikuite. Mimi nauliza watu wa Mlima Kenya, tafadhali tusifuate mienendo tumeona idea zingine. Watu kutukana kiongozi ambaye amechaguliwa. Nimeona jana watu wakiongea huko eneo ingine wanatukana huyu kiongozi. Huyu kiongozi sisi ndio tumechagua. Sisi watu ya eneo hili ni watu tuko na nidhamu na tuko na heshima na viongozi. Huyu Rais William Ruto sisi ndio tumechagua. Tumpatie heshima na tumsaidie. Akitukana na watu wengine sisi tusiingie kwa hiyo mtego. Tumekubaliana? Sisi ni watu wa Kristo, ni watu waaminifu na ni watu tuko na msimamo. Tukipenda kiongozi tumempenda na tutakaa na yeye vile yako kwa sababu ndio tumechagua. Hata kama iko shida tutasimama na rais. Na mimi sitaki nikiwa kiongozi wenu katika eneo hili kuona watu wote wakimkemea rais na kumkosea heshima. Let us respect our president because that's what the Bible tells us to do. Na kwa sababu sisi ni watu ya heshima. Na kama iko matatizo tutatatua kwa njia ya amani na njia ya heshima. Na rais tukitaka atasikiza. Netwaiguithania andu aitu. Netwaiguithania. Netwaiguithania. Netwaiguithania andu aitu. Muthamaki aheo gitio. Na ndakanorotuo. Na ndagaikio kararitho. Tondu uguo niguo ithuĩ tuhiana. Rais sisi tunakuanga namna hiyo. Sisi ni watu ya heshima. If there will be any disrespect towards you, it will not come from this region. Sisi tutakuheshimu kwa sababu tulikupenda na tukakuchagua.
That was Rigathi speaking about 2 days ago. So he was warning the mountain against the protests. But today, the protests were more intense than before. This is what has been happening there. Yes, all shops are closed in Karatina. It has been running battles between the police and the protesters. So it's very clear the people have not listened to Rigathi Gachagua. I can term that as the people have greeted Rigathi Gachagua. They have shown him very clearly that is out of touch with the ground. And as that was happening in Kericho, another William Ruto stronghold, goons were overpowered and the protesters took the JEMBE sticks away from the goons and returned those JEMBE sticks to the office of the governor. And you are seeing there, those who are the protesters who snatched away the JEMBE sticks from the goons, and they had to take them back to the governor's office. And that proves it to be that it might be the governor who organized those goons to disrupt the peaceful protesters. So things are clearly falling apart in Kenya Kwanza government. I want us to put all that into perspective for Kenyans to see what's happening here. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. What does all that mean, ladies and gentlemen? We are seeing protests in Rigathi's backyard, his home constituency. And again, we are seeing protests in William Ruto's backyard, in Kericho, and in other parts of the Kalenjin Rift Valley. Who organized these protests? Who organized the protest in Ruto's backyard? Who organized these ones in Rigathi's backyards? If you look at what is happening, it's very clear that those who voted for William Ruto are a very disappointed lot. They had very high hopes, expectations of a William Ruto's presidency. They have woken up to the reality that Ruto lied to them. That's why these people are protesting in William Ruto's backyard and in Rigath's backyard. That's a vote of no confidence on Ruto and on Rigathi. Their supporters are sending a very clear message to them. You will never again lie to us. You will never again take us for granted. And Rigathi Gachagua should listen to that very well. He has been saying he's listening to the ground. The ground in Mathira is telling him Ruto must go. That's what the ground in Mathira is telling Rigathi Gachagua. If Rigathi does not listen to that ground, Rigathi will soon find himself on the receiving end with his own people, the Kikuyu community. The message is very clear. They are not very happy with Ruto. And those protests have been more intense today because Rigathi in the past few days has embraced Ruto. So the people are just telling him that watch out, Mr. Deputy President. We are not happy. You embracing William Ruto to us is a big no. We have already lost trust and confidence in him. So embrace him at your own peril. That's the message Mathira is sending very clearly to Rigathi Gachagua. And also, if you look at all that, it shows clearly well that these goons cannot stand against the innocent, peaceful protesters. You can't organize about 50 or 100 or 200 goons and then you expect them to overpower thousands of determined people, are people who have not been organized by anybody, are people who are demonstrating because they believe that's the right thing for them to do. The goons have been paid, so even though they are there to disrupt the innocent protesters, it's not coming from their heart. They are also goons, yes. They are goons, yes, but even them, they are not happy on how things are going on. So I'm also seeing some elements or aspects of betrayal from those goons. The leaders paying these goons, the goons also are not happy with them. So the goons, in my honest opinion, might also just be trying to betray those who are paying them. Yes. So they are being paid, but they are not doing the job. A confirmation that even those goons might not be happy on how things are happening in our country. So to the elected leaders hiring these goons, you are wasting your money. Listen to the people. The people are not happy on how things are going on. As I conclude, William Ruto's only option is to resign. If he can't resign, let him prove to Kenyans that he has learned his mistakes and is now ready to do what Kenyans are demanding of him. If he can't resign, It should not be business as usual on the part of Ruto. Listening to William Ruto speaking yesterday, he spoke as if nothing is happening in the country, as if Kenyans are not complaining, as if these complaining Kenyans are not really complaining, but they are being sponsored by some foreigners. Ruto spoke yesterday, and I saw a William Ruto who is not willing to change. Mr. President, it's not business as usual. Kenyans are very serious. In the under 2 years of your presidency, you've been tried and found wanting to save your skin. Either you resign or you do things the right way. You change totally. It's not business as usual. These Kenyans are determined. And the more you prove to be recalcitrant, the more you are angering them and the more you are hardening their stance. So do the right thing. Do what Kenyans are telling you to do. Resign. If you can't resign, do the right thing. By now, you ought even to have fired the entire government. You ought to be starting afresh. In fact, your principal secretaries, the departmental heads, the entire government is rotten. Do some deep cleaning in your government. But if you assume it's still business as usual, then I'm sorry for you, Mr. President. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Any person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. The mere fact that Nyeri has not heeded regarding Gachagwa's advice is a confirmation. Politicians and the people are reading from two different pages. Rigathi will soon find himself irrelevant on the mountain. I see that as a greeting from the people. The people have just sent a strong warning to him. And if you look at it very objectively, the youths on the mountain should now educate their elders, those on the mountain, these aged people on the mountain. They are still asleep. The youth should wake them up. The mountain should wake up. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.